Hi. I recently read the book I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and I wanted to talk about it with you. Honestly, I did. But then I heard that Netflix was making a movie, so I thought, better wait. So I waited, and last night I watched the movie, and now I'm going to talk about it with you. Let's start with the book. I have a physical copy. I have lent it out like crazy, so it's not here, but I also have it on my e-reader. My husband was going to read it, and then he got 33% of the way in, and then he didn't. But that's not the point. My friend, Jen, over on her blog, That's Weird J, did a whole spoiler-rific review of this book. So if you have read the book and you want to hear her thoughts on it, check it out. I will link it down below. The book was great. It was short and weird and creepy. You should go into this one completely blind. If you haven't read it yet, stop listening to me and go read it. It's very, very short. You can do it. I will wait. No, I won't. Go do that. Come back. I will still be here. I kind of knew what I was getting into. Jen had no idea. And she lost her mind. Okay, either you're done or you don't care. And, I can dig that. So, basically, this book is about a couple who are going on a road trip to meet the boyfriend's parents for the first time. And the girlfriend has been thinking of ending things, with the boyfriend, so that is weighing very heavily on her throughout the novel. I think it's one of the first lines in the book. I'm not spoiling anything. Yes. Okay, you know what? Let me just read you the very first page. And interestingly, in the movie, not that I'm talking about the movie yet, but if I was, I would say that the entire first page is also the first lines of the movie. I'm thinking of ending things. Once this thought arrives, it stays, it sticks, it lingers, it dominates. There's not much I can do about it. Trust me, it doesn't go away. It's there whether I like it or not. It's there when I eat, when I go to bed. It's there when I sleep. It's there when I wake up. It's always there. Always. I haven't been thinking about it for long. The idea is new, but it feels old at the same time. When did it start? What if this thought wasn't conceived by me but planted in my mind, pre-developed? Is an unspoken idea unoriginal? Maybe I've actually known all along. Maybe this is how it was always going to end. Jake once said, "Sometimes a thought is closer to truth, to reality, than an action. You can say anything. You can do anything. But you can't fake a thought." You can't fake a thought. And this is what I'm thinking. It worries me. It really does. Maybe I should have known how it was going to end for us. Maybe the end was written right from the beginning. Did you like that? Thank you. Oh, no, you're too kind. The point of that was that this book is a lot of inner monologues. It is that kind of a vibe. Deep, and I'm going to take you to Spoiler Town later, but for now, that's what you get. This was a really interesting book that sparked a ton of discussion in both of my book clubs. It's one that when any of us finished it, we pressed it into somebody else's hands and said, read this. I have to talk about it with you. Read this. It made us think, and it made us talk, and spooky season is among us, so if any book clubs are looking for a great pick for October, this is a really good one. You can trust me. I'm a professional. I have a YouTube channel, so clearly I know what I'm talking about. Duh. And now, the movie. Well, it sure was a movie. 2 hours and 14 minutes of movie. Some people, me specifically, would say it was too much movie. Going into it, I thought, okay, 2 hours and 14 minutes. It only takes like 5-ish hours to read this book. So maybe they're going to be super, super true to the text. No, that was not what happened. It wasn't bad. It was long. It was too long, and that is what made it bad to me. But I don't know a lot about this director. Apparently he's the guy who did, here's his name. I don't know it. But he did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. So I guess he does a lot of psychological, really deep stuff, a lot of introspective crap. I definitely think if I had an extra 2 hours and 14 minutes of life, I would watch it again and try and pick up on what he did with the cinematography. Because I'm sure it's interesting. Just the way that the book has all of these layers, you can tell watching it that the movie does too. But it is different from the book. It started out pretty true to the book until it wasn't. I was really curious when they announced that they were going to do a movie, how the heck they would do it. Because it is so much internal monologuing and so many things that the characters aren't telling each other, but they're in a small and enclosed space. There's a lot of flashbacks in the book. It was really complicated imagining how they would translate that from the page to the screen. And the answer was they just kind of changed a bunch of things about it. I don't know how much of my opinion of the movie is colored by the fact that I read the book. Maybe this movie is fantastic, and it just wasn't what I was going in thinking it was going to be. So I have purposefully not looked at any reviews for this movie because I didn't want to come in here with a different opinion than my own. For real, if this movie was half as long, it would have been twice as good. Or, you know what? Maybe I just completely misread huge swaths of the book, and it was super true to the book. But earlier, when I was putting my kids down, I was reading the scene where they get to the parents' house just to see what up. And no, there's similarities, but I definitely was not completely forgetting. They managed to keep the general feel of the book for a while. I feel like they did eventually drop it, but the book gives you this slowly ramping up tension. It's not scary exactly, but it's tense, and it just keeps turning up. And the movie had it for a while. So yeah, anyways, if you are planning to watch the movie and then pretend you read the book, don't do it. You're gonna look silly. I wanted to quickly look up the reviews for the movie now that I am done telling you my thoughts and before we go into spoilers. So let's see how it's doing. 78%, 6.9 on IMDb, 84% Rotten Tomatoes, 50% of Google users like this film. Charlie Kaufman. I thought that was his name, but I didn't want to look stupid. Plus, I could just be lying to you. The characters weren't what my characters in my head looked like at all either, but that's fine. That's fair. It's usually like that. So, okay, yeah. I mean, it was a fine movie. I just thought it was way too long. But I'm also old and tired. All right, get in, losers. We're going to Spoiler Town. Okay, this is where the spoilers start. So if you do not want to be spoiled for the book or the movie, get out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye. Share with all your friends. Thank you. Okay, in the book, they do what I like to call the old double switcheroo, where you see the title of the book, I'm thinking of ending things, and think, oh, this book's about suicide. But then you start reading it, and you say, oh, no, this book is about ending a relationship. And then at the end, bam, no, suicide. The whole thing is a really interesting depiction of a broken psyche and a suicidal man. He completes suicide in the end. So we go through this whole book, watching his fractured mind go through memories and inconsistencies start happening. I really think that this book would benefit from a reread because when you know what you're reading, you know what to look for. And in just the pieces that I've reread, it reads very, very differently the second time around. Very personal time. Future Shanna, feel free to cut this out. So I am on, I call it my brain medicine. I take meds for depression, and one of my symptoms is invasive thought spiraling. So don't worry, I am monitored. I am very, very cautious. I take my medication. I'm good. But as somebody who has a mental illness, seeing the repetition through the book and the way that they talk about in that first page that I read to you, once the thought is there, it sticks. I don't know how people without mental illness think. Obviously, I got my brain. But it's really, really, it adds another layer to the story that I find very interesting. I find when mental illness is depicted in books, it can be done really well or it can be done really poorly. This is done in a psychological thriller way. This is not, in my experience, how normal brains work. But of course, this person completes suicide in the book. So, the fuck do I know? But yeah, so specifically what I think about is there is a phone call that keeps happening in the book. And they pretty much cut it out of the movie because I don't really know how they would translate what's happening to the audience. At least I didn't find that it was very effective in the movie. But in the book, she is repeatedly getting a phone call from her own number, and the message is always the same. It sounds like their voice, because she is him and he is the janitor. It's all very complicated. It sounds like it is a brief moment of lucidity breaking in and trying to call through. And the repetition is very interesting to me. And now the movie. It was fine. It was pretty accurate. The parents' scene felt like a goddamn panic attack. My husband was so uncomfortable. He's like, is this what it's like in the book? Because he's not to the parents' house yet. And I was like, no, not really. Kind of, but not really. And, okay, so for those of you who have read the book, do you remember at the end, the very long dance sequence, followed by a musical number? No? No, neither did I. I feel like this movie is gaslighting me, because the entire time I'm watching it, it's close to what happened in the book, but also far enough away that I'm like, did I just read it all wrong? Like, is this actually what happened? Because I'm assuming a team of people worked on this movie. A bunch of them must have read the book, and this is how they're I don't know. Anyways, that's how the movie ends, is a long dance sequence followed by a musical number, followed by nothing. So, one benefit that came out of the movie going kind of off the rails is now my husband is going to finish the book because, so he has a theory. He's like, so was he the janitor and then he killed the girl's boyfriend and buried it in his basement? And I was like, that's a cool theory. But nah, I can see where he got it watching the movie. And the dance sequence was beautiful to watch. I mean, I will never say no to watching professional dancers do a great job. I don't even know what the song at the end was about. And also, I found the movie really hard to follow. The book is meant to be layered and have it peel back, and it does a really good job of that. The movie felt like it was trying to tell you something, but what? So, yeah, watching the movie felt bad, but it wasn't supposed to feel good. It's not a feel-good film. So, I think that they probably did a good job. I prefer the book. I almost always do, though. Kind of a snob like that. I recommend doing both. Read the book, watch the movie, in honestly whichever order. It doesn't really matter. And comment. Tell me what you thought of each. If you've only read or watched one, tell me that too. I am really interested to know what you guys think, because my husband hasn't read the book, so he can't talk to me about it. None of my friends have watched the movie, so here I am over in limbo, all by myself. All by myself. Don't wanna be. Anyways, that is what I thought of the book and what I thought of the movie. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to me blather on. like the video, subscribe, ring the bell, and share with all of your friends. It helps me out so much. You just can't even believe it. Did you guys see I'm at 71 subscribers as of when I'm recording this, which means I'll be at 100 soon. What should I do for 100? Tell me that in the comments. Thank you. I will see you on Monday. Bye.